Alec Burks guarding it from the start. Wiggins again. Here's Curry for the record. It's good! And there it is! Stephen Curry! The all-time three-point king in the NBA! Three-pointer number 2974.
Curry way downtown. Bang! Steph Curry from just inside half court.
Curry pulls up from the logo. It's good! Curry with a little shimmy at midcourt and a timeout for Dallas.
Time for Curry from half court. It's good! He banks it in!
Gotta be kidding me. You've got to be kidding.
Three-pointer number 200 on the season for Steph Curry, the first NBA player ever with 200 threes 4 straight years, and he does it in style, making it in to end it.
Yes, indeed. Certainly time for sideline. Welcome back. That happens to be Steph Curry for you, a man that has broken and set records this particular season, including 3,000 three-pointers, the most in the history of the NBA, and also setting the all-time record when it comes down to the three-pointers as well. So quite the big week it's been for him, his team, the Golden State Warriors, and well, we'll be talking all that and so much more on the show. But welcome aboard. It's a new year 2022. So I want to start by saying happy New Year going out to the whole sports family, certainly the whole Urban TV family as well, and everybody that worked with us 2021 coming into 2022. So on the show this afternoon, we'll have a roundup for the year 2021. So if you had any highlights coming from last year, feel free, hit us back. Social media, let us know what was your biggest sporting highlight. If you're looking out for anything in the new year, you can also be able to let us know. And I'll also be talking a bit of the back and forth between KCCA and Onduparaka last week, in the league. And well, on the show, first things first, we have the guest. He'll be talking everything rugby. This guy plays his rugby in the US, but he's back home, so he'll share his experiences. And I have a full house joining me on the show. Certainly Sarah Sharon Adong, she's on the show. The same goes for Shafiq Senoga. How are we doing, guys? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to Brian. I think it's a wrap.
So
first,
no wonder. So one of your resolutions is to change your appearance as well, because I've not seen you look this smart in a long time.
Certainly, a new year comes with so much, so you have to change a lot. So perhaps in the new year, I decided to have a new look.
Yeah.
And perhaps by the time
actually the whole look, not just the yeah.
Mr. Bulebo. Yes.
So, but now he has.
So now you're not Mr. Bulebo. So how am I going to be calling you?
I know soon. I think in 2 weeks' time, I'll be back with a normal.
We need to know what happened, why he had to change the look.
I understand if you had arrested. When they started arresting people with the Bulebo.
No.
Okay, Sharon.
Yes,
it's good to have you back on the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing so good. I think 2022 has been is starting up at a very, very high gear for me. Because first of all, this is the show that I love most, and Urban TV has always been my home. People know me for Urban TV than even One Luo TV. More so you, Brian, a partner in crime since 2018.
Yeah.
I mean, being on set together and starting 2022 together is so spectacular. But the best of it all is sitting next to a gentleman who comes from my own district. That's none other than Manano, and my OB from the same school, Kalinari. So
okay,
it's a vibe. New year, new vibe.
Definitely, it's a vibe. Arnold Manano, welcome to Sideline Sports Show.
Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity.
And first things first, for the viewers, those that may be seeing you for the first time, I want you to do an introduction. I've met you. It's been an interesting conversation. So for the viewers, who is Arnold Manano?
I'm just a guy who grew up in Chigoa, Chile areas.
Okay.
I started playing rugby when I used to visit my late grandmother here at Nakawa quarters. That's when I was playing tag rugby at Chadondo.
It seems every sport comes from Naguru.
Yeah.
Nakawa and Naguru area.
Because that's where rugby was located.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a Naguru and Nakawa. All the lads used to come down and play footy down here. So it's been amazing. And so back then in Chigo and Tida areas, I used to play football.
Okay.
You know, these areas, but every time I used to come with holidays here, I used to just kick it with rugby and tag rugby, and it's been amazing. Yeah.
Tag rugby has produced so many players that have gone on to play at the top level. You yourself now are in the US. Would you give credit to the fact that you've gotten that far because of the roots you had here?
Yeah, definitely. It's because of tag rugby. It's amazing what they do. You know, mostly at Chadondo, you play for free. You know, you don't really give money to play anything. So it's been amazing what tag has done for so many lads here in the country. Okay,
Sharon, you know a thing or two about Arnold, so I'm sure you want to engage on this one.
Yes, he probably forgot to tell people his roots. Besides playing, starting at Chadondo or at Naguru. But I think I got to know Arnold more. I hadn't known him as a person, but of course as a journalist, you read a lot of literature written because that is part of our work. Playing for Buffaloes. I knew him more for Buffaloes and then Stallions. He actually started with Stallions, I think.
I started with Tigers.
Tigers.
One
Yeah.
year, in 1 year, then I went to Stallions.
Okay.
And then went to Stallions, then of course Buffaloes. But you see, Brian, for me, what amazes me so much is that so many of the rugby players in Uganda today who have made it, many of them have either gone out illegally. Remember the stories we read some time back of some of the rugby players who went, not even these Olympics qualifiers, but then they escape and then they remain in those countries. But this gentleman we're talking about here got his breakthrough right from Uganda, from Buffaloes, straight away to Florida, where he is. And he's not just in these other normal states, but Florida, where the former president of US comes from, Donald Trump. That's Florida. That is his region. So for me, I think it's one thing. But I would love to hear more from him to share with us some of the achievements, the challenges, because we have seen so many people. When I hosted him on Wando, he said there are so many athletes, so many rugby players who are quitting playing, be it women or men. They're quitting playing because they are not benefiting anything. So for people like him who are already exposed, that's what you would say in Uganda. What do we have to see?
Exactly, because some will say probably the reason you left the country is because rugby here wasn't paying that much. Would you say that is true?
Yeah, that's really true. You know, like every sportsman's really like you want to go and make some good money. You know, help your family and improve your livelihood. You know, so at the end of the day, like we all look for those deals. That's why you see so many players go to Kenya just to make something. You know, we just need just small bread at least, from this game, because it doesn't really pay much,
Okay, Shafiq, we see Philippe Okorach, he's doing his thing in France. Just like Arnold has said, there's players that have played in Kenya. Somehow you have all these players coming from the local scene. We've had so much talent from the sport of rugby. Would you safely say that maybe locally they don't hit their best potential?
For starters, my only challenge with rugby, despite the fact that they've excelled into so many competitions on the international scene, but we still don't give it that serious attention being most of. Because seriously, looking at many of these, like he said, here rugby players don't earn much. That's why you find that many of these rugby players are stationed into where they work from. So he will have either to decide either to stay on his workplace or to come and play for a national team. So that's why we have seen scenarios whereby rugby players actually we have a national team preparing for a competition, but they engage in field. No, we shall train after we're done with our work. So if we want to make the sport progress, there are some of the things we want to look out. Ask Arnold about, give me a comparison between the rugby here. Of course, then the US. Of course, there is a better. In US, somehow better.
Yeah.
It could give me
not somehow. It's actually better.
It's better.
Yeah.
You could make a comparison. Then second, you could tell me, does he believe that we have the talent that can go much out there in Europe?
Yeah. First, a comparison, rugby here and the US.
I would say it's a little bit. The playing style is different. over there they use more of the forwards are really bigger.
Okay.
You know, and over here, the coach will tell you like if you're skinny, put on some weight. You know, in the US, they will really encourage you if you're faster and you're skinny. They will encourage you to just keep running.
Okay.
Just get fit, run. Like here, differently, tell you, oh, get bigger, get supplements, and when you use those supplements, you lose the speed. You know, and so I would say USA is good. You know, it's good to be there. It's good to experience, to play with so many different talents. Because like in the US, they bring so many imports from other countries, and that's what you need. The experience from other countries, you learn from them.
Yeah. Before you came on air, you are telling us about the difference between rugby here, where we just have one version. In the US, you have, I think, about two. The union. You know, the league, and then the nationals.
Yes.
But quickly, why do you think there is that disparity? How come even the number of players that play? You've told us that they play 13s, here we have 7s, we have 15s. Why is the disparity?
So here we play union. I went for union in the Naples. In Naples we play unions. That's in Florida, and it's from Jan to April, like the way said. Then rugby league starts from May to September, and it's a different version of footy. It's a different version, and it's really amazing. So when you look at it, it's like union, you're gonna contest for the ball. You're gonna contest for the ball. Rugby league is different because you run, hit somebody, you go down, you contest, but nobody takes the ball.
Okay.
You have to place it down. It's like you have. It's like American football.
So it's a touchdown.
You have six chances.
Okay.
So, so after the fifth, you have to kick the ball to the other team. You have to kick the ball and you contest for it. If the other team takes it, so they also have 6 chances to attack you. So like it just keeps like that. Yeah.
And is that specifically limited to the US, or it cuts across different nations?
Rugby league is everywhere. In Africa, we have it in West Africa.
Okay.
West Africa plays more rugby league. We have South Africa. They play rugby league there too. Even Burundi actually plays rugby league too. Even Kenya has a team. We don't have a team here in Uganda. Yeah.
Okay, Sharon.
So for me, I would want Arnold to help us again. How do they manage? Where does the disparity? I mean, the difference come in when it comes to federations? Because for us here, union, we have the rugby union in Uganda, and Africa, you have Africa Rugby Union. So how about the rugby league? Who manages the rugby league in the world and at continental level?
There's World Rugby League, like the way you see union has this one, whatever. We also have that manages. So we have NRL. If you try to watch NRL, it's a big rugby league like competition in Australia.
Okay.
Then Super League is the one in the UK. It's popular because they've tried to get teams in Canada to be part of it. It's like the way you see 2 continents emerging, and there are teams from this one and this one that are combining together to play. It's really amazing.
Okay, Shafiq, any questions, Arnold?
Maybe the other one.
I wanted him to tell me about that. The experience, looking at our talent here, do you have players that can match when they go that side? Do you have the talent that can match? Because we have not had so many of our players actually go and play in Europe. Do you have the talent here that can match? And what should be done if you to have a step into the sport of rugby in the country? Because like I said, the way we take rugby here, it's not the way we could take like football. These guys have what to first to do, then after they are taking rugby next. So rugby is there. They cater for their jobs, then rugby comes as the second priority for them.
So do we have the talent here to match out there?
We really have the talent here. Like I would say we have the talent, but at the end of the day, it's really hard. Like me too, I struggled. Like I'm from Uganda. My passport is really Ugandan. You know, it's not South African. It's not from where I was, because like they treat you different from where you come from. Rugby, it's like we have those rugby league, like nations that play really good rugby, and if you're from there, even if you don't know anything, they will really praise you until they see what you can do. So if you come from Uganda, you have to start again, building yourself, and if you play good, then you have the opportunity.
Arnold, I want to put you on the spot because you think since you play in the US, you're playing at the top level, You think you should be part of the Rugby Cranes? Why haven't you broken into that team?
Definitely, the way I work hard and everything, I should be a part of it. You know, but at the end of the day, you realize.
Or is it the scouting that hasn't found you?
They know about me. You know, they know about me, and when I post pictures or when people message me and they're like, "Oh, that's really good. You know, we're doing a good job." But at the end of the day, it's like people will look at it as fans, like, "Oh, you're too far" and stuff like that, and we can't really bring you here. But at the end of the day, like sometimes I feel like, okay, like what am I working for? Because everybody has a dream to play for the national team, always, you know, and maybe one day it will come, you know.
So would you wish to play for the national team of Uganda?
Of course.
Or you'd wish to be the other side?
Of course.
Would you rather 7s or 15s if you came to play here?
I love both because I have the talent for both. Yeah.
Okay, how many players have you stayed in touch with? What do you think of the rugby scene locally?
There's really positive and negative. You know, I've seen players, good players, leave the game young, very young. Like, you know, what teams back there, you play with somebody who's like 30 years, 38 years, you know, and you're still playing with them. Here, people are leaving the game really at a young age, you know, and it's really not that good, you know.
And then the positives?
The positives is really seeing the people, like the kids I've trained for tag rugby, because I used to be a coach too.
Okay.
For tag rugby, seeing them play for the Heathen, seeing them play for the Buffaloes and Stallions, it's really been amazing for me, you know. Yeah.
Okay, Shafiq, probably any more for Arnold, because it's quite interesting that he's telling us about all these things, and you're thinking he should be on the national team if he's that good. Should you think there is a gap there?
I think it goes back. I don't know if rugby have a scouting team that actually they don't only look at players here, because I've seen the likes of Wokrach, Philip Wokrach. Probably why they look to him, especially that by the time he left here, he was known. Maybe, I don't know if the Uganda Rugby Union has that, a selective team that follows up, like we see in football that we know, because I believe not only him, there may be other players, rugby players, you know, that are playing, but probably they have not got the chance. I think we need to give them a chance, because like I said here, if he's taking rugby as his career, then we need to cater for him as someone who can come also play for the national team. Because here, like I said here, yes, we have talent, but we have not given it more attention. But if he's giving rugby attention, it means it's one way the union can come also support him in one way or the other to play for the national team.
I think also to add on a little bit from my colleague here, I have also had quite often times that the rugby union is always very hesitant in meeting the air ticket bills for these athletes. You find a very good player who plays rugby beat for the rugby ladies or maybe for the men, and then time for summoning comes and they tell you we can't summon so and so because we can't afford the ticket. Of course, we saw of recent, even when Uganda was going to play some game, that was in football, where Mustafa Kiza, FIFA said they could not waste 5 million shillings to transport him because US and Canada are a little bit far, but someone who is in Europe is easily transported. That takes around 3 million shillings, so, or 4 million. It's a little bit cheaper. So now, the question is, are the athletes, and this is where Arnold is going to come in to help us answer, are the athletes or the rugby players ready to meet the bills in case they are called upon? And then two, it is upon us and them to also begin negotiating with this federation, more so with the rugby. I mean, if we really want rugby to go far and you have the cream, then you have to do what? You have to call. So maybe I take on him there, Arnold can take us and help us out. Are you willing, in case you're given that chance, maybe, could you take it up?
Maybe before Arnold comes in, I think it looks to be in a professional way, and professional manner. If a player who's coming to play for a national team to invest in yourself, like I said, those are, like Sharon said, those are some of the things I think rugby has to look into. If you want to take this sport to be more popular and also to be known and also progress, you need to have that financial backup, that even if government doesn't give you funding, you can still go ahead and organize and also pull in your best players that you can have on the national team.
Okay, Arnold, would you meet your own course? Because this year also has a lot of action, you know, Commonwealth Games, Rugby Africa Cup, or you think that would be going out of your way to meet your own bills?
Of course, sometimes you have to sit on the table and talk and make plans with it. But at the end of the day, like, I'd one day want to represent the country, you know. So if they ever say that's the problem, then I'll sit on the table and get it done. You know?
Okay.
Brian, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Like I would say,
If you have to sit on timetable and you decide, that means if I invest in my ticket, that means even the playing time will be decided by me. Because I've done so much. Yes, if I invested in my time, there's no reason why I should come and you tell me you have to come from the bench. I need to have that playing time.
has a very pregnant point. Let me say pregnant point. The way we used to put it in secondary during our debates or primary. I mean, at the end of it all, this is going to kill the professionalism of the game. Team selection, first of all, must be done in a very proper way on the abilities. No favoritism must be done. Of course, those days, remember, in the Uganda Cranes, also the people like the Nestroys, the Buas, the Sekajas used to foot their own tickets, by the way, from wherever they were in Europe to come and play for the Uganda Cranes. But you would see, even if a Bua was bad-mannered over what, he has to be in the lineup. Why? Because this is the guy who is putting in his own money. Now, there comes FUFA to say, okay, now fine, we are going to start paying the now. For that matter, I think his point is very clear.
Okay.
But again, at the same time, also we would also love to caution him that even if he gives us that favor of transporting himself to Uganda, I don't think it would be wise for him to put the coach on ransom.
Arnold, let's talk structures. I know there must be development structures from grassroots, underage, all the way to the top teams in the US. You feel like we still have a gap in structures here?
Of course there's a big gap. You know, first of all, I'll talk about when players get injured here. It's like when you get injured, they need you when you're good. When you're injured, they don't need you anymore. It's like when you get better, they start calling you. It's like, oh, where are you? You know, it's like so. I feel like the structure here has to be set up again. You know, we have schools that still play rugby from so it's like it's not more schools. You know, no more schools, and few districts actually play rugby. Yeah, few districts. So you gotta understand, it's like I had a trip to Kasese and I saw these people have a lot of fields. Okay. So and there's no rugby there. It's like
it's football.
You know, it's like and in gyms. You know, so I'm like, if I have a rugby team there, that would be good. Like it's really like when you start setting up rugby like beaches, the area whereby you can bring tourism. You know, like tourists can go because like that's what happens with Florida. To convince the player to come to Florida, you say, you know what, you can come here for holiday. Okay. You play here and have beaches, you have everything. So
what's the remuneration like? Is it at an amateur? Is it semi-pro? Is it the pro? What's the level what you play?
For the Naples, it's like amateur. Then for Copperheads, it's like a pro. You know,
so there's contracts. You have a salary. There's benefits.
There's no really salary. I was gonna get a salary before the COVID hit. I had a big contract to go in Las Vegas to play the league, and the COVID.
Since there is no contract, you mentioned before we came on air that you want to play elsewhere, Ireland, somewhere.
I'm talking to a team in Ireland. It's been like 2 years now. We've been really talking, and it's just COVID right now, but we've been really talking and. They actually watch the show too. They watch the show. And so it's we've been talking every day, and so hopefully something comes up one day.
I know, I love that. They're watching the show.
Yeah, they are. Like my coach, the one that wants me to go there. Is really so much into it.
So for you, in your own sense, you think rugby in Northern Ireland it's quite better than the one in the US where you are. You just going to move out because of the enumerations, or because you feel you want to grow and maybe the other club offers a better opportunity?
No, I just want to play football. Like growing up, I had dreams of playing football. You know, going to the Premier League, going to France, going to Scotland.
Yeah.
I want to do the same with rugby. I don't want to be stuck in one place. I want to go keep playing. You know, like.
So then, Brian, he has also told us that probably the issues of course, he has a contract with one club, and then the other one is like an amateur. So how does he make it up? How about issues of going for training, because you're more of like a volunteer? Do they probably look at cater for his transport bills, the train, the words, you have to move, times you have to take air tickets, fly from one state to the other. So how do you cope up with that?
Like all our games in Florida.
Okay.
And when I went to the team, to Naples, they gave me accommodation and everything. So transportation and everything is taken care of.
Okay.
So all I need to just to play.
Shafiq?
In terms of structures,
I think we need to work more about it. Looking at rugby here, many of our clubs, I think, are centered within Kampala. You'll find Legends, then Chadondo, if then in Entebbe, then perhaps if you go too far, there's the Kings Park in Belgrade. Yes, we need to go beyond. Yes, I know there are clubs in Soroti, but we need to go beyond more. I think there are so many rugby players out there. There are so many people who enjoy this. We need to go beyond just not only Kampala-based clubs. I think that will help to make this sport in a better way for.
Arnold, somebody who is talented in several sports, at what point or what factors do you look at and you think, I'm not going to focus on football, I'm actually going to take rugby seriously? What do you consider when making that decision?
Like if you have so many like I would say to my case, I had to sit down and look at myself. Like I'm from Tinder. We don't really we never really had so many scouts come there to look for footballers. You know, we have a few guys that play in the Premier League, like here in Uganda. Yeah. So I had to sit down and choose what I wanted. Like this is what I wanted. I wanted to go abroad. I wanted to play a sport whereby I can help my family. You know, and so it was a hard decision because I was playing post-primaries, like Coca-Cola Championship for NWSS, and after Form 6, I decided to stick on, to just take rugby serious.
Before I wrap up the conversation, for a kid watching the show out there, or probably a parent, quickly before you come in, would you, what with the exposure you've got, would you advise somebody to take a sport like rugby seriously, or it's one of those where you're saying play as much as you can and then go to your 9-to-5 job?
I would always say go to school, study, have a plan B. Okay. You know, because at the end of the day, like sports, you can get injured at any time and you have no plan B. So I would say go to school, study, and if you love rugby, stick on it. But make sure you read your books.
Okay.
Of course, I remembered something when he talked about the national team, when we were asking the Jagons about the national team. We know very well in Uganda here, it's all about who knows who, and it is about positioning. We call it positioning, probably in the other area of politics. Are you looking forward to being now more positioned to the federation and looking forward to bringing them closer to you than them looking for you? Do you have that planned in the nearby future? Because ideally, I feel if you don't do that, they're not gonna look for you.
Are you speaking some folks at the union, you know, Mr. Kayangwe and his team?
I disagree with
I think the question would be how much engagement
you guys seriously can't.
Engagement is okay.
Positioning.
Do you know what positioning is?
This is a lady. So she
no, but even in football, in sports, we position ourselves.
Those are some of the things that have actually killed our sport.
Like talking to the federation is a positioning.
No talking. There are some of the things that are killed. In football, we have had scenarios where players have to pay to be part of the national team.
No, we don't want him to do that.
And the positioning bit comes with a perception. If Arnold is talented and the union sees him that he's a talented player, let them give him a chance. There's no, it doesn't need to go talk to them. Please.
So Arnold, how are you going to answer my question? I want Arnold to answer. You guys know I must be protected. I'm the only woman on that show. Arnold, please answer my question.
Quickly as we wrap up, probably, I know you're not positioned. Yeah.
It's like I want my talent to speak for myself. You know?
Okay.
I would say that I have my talent to speak for
Okay.
myself.
Last remarks for everybody watching Sideline.
I appreciate having me here, and I appreciate my friends and my family watching this show, and my coaches for giving me the opportunity, and everyone that knows me around Tinder and
Okay.
yeah. So I'm really happy to be here. You know.
Okay. Thank you, Arnold. All the best in your career. When are you going back to the US?
Anytime from now.
Anytime. No details. The family members will look for you.
At least we shall find him at the airport.
That's the best of African setting. People don't normally review when they're leaving.
But Arnold, you're coaching. You didn't tell us about coaching.
Yeah. Quickly.
Oh yeah. I have a level 1 of rugby coaching here in Uganda, then I have a level 1 rugby league, and tomorrow I'll be in Entebbe. I was invited there to do some coaching there, so I'm just excited to give back. Okay,
all the best, Arnold. That is Arnold Manano, certainly a rugby player based in the US. That being said, let's see the breaks. When we come back, wrap up 2021, plus big games coming through this weekend. Will it be Chelsea or Liverpool? Will it be Arsenal or Manchester City? I want to hear from you. Social media, Facebook and Twitter. Are you watching Urban TV? This is Sideline Sports Show. We'll be back.